Okay, so we have a interesting, I would say, probably could be one of the more interesting webinars we do. But before I launch into it, I want to take some feedback. So we covered the topic of body and supplement and exercise and various things. Hopefully, some of that was useful for you. And then we have the other two components, mind and spirit. Okay. But between body and mind, can you tell me which do you think is the tougher of the two to deal with, to manage, to change, enhance, etc.?
Mind.
Yes, Ram and Zishan as well. Okay, any more?
Mind.
I'm going to share with you a secret, probably not so much of a secret, but believe it or not, the body is far harder to manage. The mind is a black box and harder to understand at times, but not so difficult as I will try to show you today. And I guarantee you, if you focus with me, you may have a really, really useful hack to deal with the mind. While when it comes to the body, I can give you some input. I can tell you what I've been up to, what I have learned in my 71 years. But it is quite complex. The body is really complex, and every organ needs a specialist and what it does and doesn't do. You can't deal with it that easily. And to get the results, sometimes you are talking about possibly weeks, months, sometimes years of adopting a strategy to see results. With the mind, I hope to give you some strategies even this morning that by this afternoon you've got something really useful. You don't have to wait for months to prove the point. So stay with me. Hopefully, you pick up something of real value. So let me make a start and try and keep it interactive because everybody is an expert, so to speak, in this area. I'm not talking about technology. I'm talking about mind, and everyone on this call has a very active mind. So let's help each other. Okay, so that's the first thing you can notice about the mind. It's our best tool. That's what makes us human, makes us successful as a species, etc. It can be used to harm yourself, harm others, and like a knife, it can be used very productively. In this case, to peel an apple, you can make a salad, you can slaughter something if you like to have your meat, etc. So it has dual use, and that makes it really tricky. You have to be careful how you use it. You can use it for good, you can use it for bad. So, as anybody on this call, and don't be shy, has noticed that they have a voice that talks in their head all the time.
So many things, random things, something unrelated, something it never happened. But I mean, it's like you can term it sometime hallucination also. But there are different type of voices that interact with each other and with the brain.
So very true. Really, it never stops, right? It is busy all the time. So it's like somebody not very friendly because it's always whispering in your ears, is always filling your head with the one thought after another, and it is really. In some ways can be helpful, but most of the time is problematic. So let's take some examples, see if you've had some of those, because it's very important that you recognize it in yourself as a persistent noise. So, have you ever had this where you meet somebody at a party or they come to your house or you go, I can't remember her name. What's her name? Okay, now always think now somebody is talking to somebody. I can't remember what's her name. Here she comes as she comes closer. Is it Nadia or Mary? She told me yesterday. This is going to be embarrassing. I should remember. Again, always think who's talking to who here. Then take another one. I think I should get married. Now, most of you are married, and this is not a thing you worry about. But if you're thinking about getting married, your mind will say, no, you know you're not ready. Who is this advisor who told you you're not ready? You'll be sorry if you go that way. Don't go down that track. So somebody obviously smarter than you telling you you shouldn't. I see Mohab was smiling. Mohab, are you in the marrying age? Are you looking to get married?
I'm feeling always that I'm not ready. So this is why I'm smiling.
Okay, so your mind is saying this thing. No, you know you're not ready.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so somebody smart in there is telling you something, right? Or you think it is. Okay, or what about this one? How many of us had this? You lie down, you're ready to go to sleep, you're tired, and it says, did I lock the doors? Good heavens, I have a busy day tomorrow. I can't be thinking about this. I need to get up early. Okay? And just having these thoughts now is hard to go to sleep because now you're concerned about the door being locked, you're worried about tomorrow, etc. So, if you're the one talking and the one listening, why do you need to talk? If you're the one saying it to yourself and you one listening, so if you say you look at a car and you say that's a car, why do you need to tell yourself it's a car? Already at a glance you saw it's a car, or it's a red car, or it's a Toyota. Who is this who has to narrate it to you and says, oh, it's a car? I hope you can see this. I want you to stay really focused because it's very important to identify this noise. It's going to be really crucial as we move forward. So you have an awareness that at a glance sees the world, sees everything, and then there is a voice in your head that narrates it all to you like a press secretary. Okay? Can we all agree on that? Or is there somebody saying, no, I don't have such noises. I go around the world and I am always in present time and just observe. I think that's not a human typical experience. Okay. So why does the mind talk? What's the cause of talking? Any suggestion? Why is talking going on? So let's see, Giant, usually you love to jump in and you're today a bit shy.
Yeah, good morning. Basically, we need somebody to reconfirm to us. Whatever we do, we need somebody to support us, advocate. So it is always when we are talking to each other, we are telling, yes, we are on the right track or we are on the wrong track. So we need ourselves to tell ourselves and kind of encourage to move ahead, whether it is right or wrong. So we need an advocate, we need our self-support.
Okay, so that could be, but let me suggest to you realistically what is happening. First of all, it's an evolved mind. And the mind is just like you have a kidney, you have a heart, they have a job to do. You don't worry about them, but they do their job quietly. The mind is evolved to protect you from danger. I hear a rustle. Oh, could that be a tiger? Because if it is, even if it's a mistake, then I'm scared, I run, but at least I save myself. If I ignore it and it is a tiger, I'm in trouble. So the first job of the mind is to come up with hypotheses, assumptions, say something, and you react to it. And that typically is a pro-survival mechanism. Obviously, these days, we don't have tigers, we don't have even the grass for the tigers to hide, but the noise still goes on. The second reason, it buffers reality. This may seem strange. Let me explain it. We are, as humans, we're actually quite weak. There's not much we do without the help of others, tools, etc. And yet we would like to think we're in control. So let's say you're out in the street, as this picture shows, and it is raining. Now, if you watch your mind, what it'll be saying, oh, it's raining. Okay, we already know that. Then next thing it'll say, fortunately, I have an umbrella. Well, we know I'm holding the umbrella. Why is it saying that? What do you think it's saying? Fortunately, I have an umbrella. And it will also say, unfortunately, I'm only 5 minutes from my house. Why do you think that happens?
Survival mechanism.
Well, you can say it's survival. Obviously, nobody's trying to survive here. We're not die. But what it is really, you have life happens, events happen, and you'd like to have control. By saying, I have an umbrella, I am 5 minutes away from home, you give yourself the illusion that you are in control. Actually, you don't control anything. It rains and it will continue to rain whether you like it or not. Fact that it says that to you gives you comfort that I'm in control of something. Okay? So the illusion of control, have you ever had those? A child in the back seat that thinks they're driving the car. The mind likes to think is driving the car. It never does anything of the sort, but it gives that comfort, okay? Life, on the other hand, has no issue. Life just unfolds as it does. The mind imagine problems when they don't exist. So keep this as we go forward. So let's see about what's with this voice, okay? The voice starts, which is what it does. Has anybody here meditate? Show your hand if you do. At least once you meditated, not regularly, but you must have. If you haven't, I think you're missing out. You should be trying it at least once. So if you meditated, thoughts are natural. They will keep, the voice will happen all the time. The moment you buy into a thought, oh, I didn't call so and so. If you just say, oh, it's another thought, it will go away. But if you follow it, oh, they might be upset with me. Or they might be thinking I'm a negligent person. I don't. So now you're down what is called the rabbit hole, because that thought leads to another thought, and 5 minutes, an hour later, you find yourself busy thinking about that meeting or that phone call. So that's the first thing to watch about that voice. The voice itself is natural. You cannot stop it. It's like a river runs, it has to run. It has leaves on it. This is the leaves that flow on the river. Those are the thoughts. Perfectly natural. Don't grab any of them, just let them go. So that's one thing we know. It never stops. And surprisingly, it takes both sides of the argument. Like we've seen with the marriage. No, you're not ready. You'll be sorry. Or you say, no, you should be getting married because you're getting older and you may not get a chance again. Or people, you'll not have a better opportunity. So it'll jump both. It doesn't care really. All it wants is to talk. And all you want to do is to let it talk. Then if you let it talk, you are now just observing a busy mind, like you observe your heart. It pumps all the time. Your lungs breathe all the time. You don't start thinking, oh, I wonder why breath was a bit longer, that one. This one is a bit short. You don't think. But with the mind, we're very busy. This thought, that thought. Okay. So let's now see how it affects our daily life. It's actually at the root of unhappiness as well. Think about emotions. Anybody had, well, we have emotions every day, but anybody had an emotional moment recently? I tell you, I have to tell all the stories here. So if you had any emotions, when do they happen? Do emotions, you may have incidents in the past, you may have anxiety about the future, but when do you feel the emotion? Isn't it in this present moment? You feel it now in your chest, in your heart, in your guts. So remember that emotion is happening right now. The incidents could be past, could be future. So let's take one. So now, if it's an emotion that is regret about something happened in the past, Okay, I put here stupid. I think this is something I want to make a point about it because a lot amongst us have this emotion of regret. I shouldn't have said that. I wish I didn't go. I wish I didn't marry, whatever. You see the visual here? Can you see why that would be a stupid thing to do? Is it clear, that visual? Yes. Okay. Why is regret stupid? I'm going to give a prize to the person who tells me why it's stupid.
Cannot change it anyway. It has happened.
Thank you. Any reason why is regret stupid?
Because it's already in the past.
Already happened. Great.
Yeah.
Rassan,
It's a decision you made and it happens as you shared, Faiz. Why I have to regret it? Finish. It's a past.
yeah, okay, pass. But why is it stupid? I'm not saying don't worry about it. It's the past. Why is
Because maybe because we didn't try.
Who's saying that? I can't see everybody, but
Nine.
we didn't try. Okay. Let me tell you, and this, I hope you write it down on a paper and keep it in your drawers where you, or somewhere you see it on the mirror in the bathroom. You know that every decision you did, every action you took was absolutely the best you could have done in that moment, in the circumstances in that moment. You are now looking at the past where now you know a lot more information. Now you have the 2020 vision, hindsight vision. When you look at the past, you're looking from now on what happened then. If you could go back in time, you will see under the pressure of that moment, under the emotion of that moment, the speed of with which things were happening, you reacted in a certain way. Say you're driving or you're interacting with an individuals. You said something, later you regret, but you said that in the heat of the moment. You cannot recreate the heat of the moment. So regretting it is stupid because you cannot recreate it. If you recreate it, you probably will do the same thing again. So always look with some compassion on all your regret that they happened and they represented the best in you how to in that moment and forget about them. If you can duplicate that, it would cure you of any regrets. If you can't, you will, and I know people who always will say to you, oh, you shouldn't have done that. But you were not there to tell me this. Okay, so let's go. Worry, future. I don't think I need to explain this one. Worrying about the future is pointless. Actually, future is impossible to predict. The action and reaction that you do, others do, etc. Who knows what will pan out in the future? So worrying is pointless. Only positive emotions happen in the present. When you are present to every emotion, you will notice the positive ones, they don't happen in the past, they don't happen in the future. They happen now, you feel them now, and you feel good about them now. And the best hack I have seen and I've read about is this one. There is a scale, and that's to do with happiness and unhappiness. Events, and this is life events, they're unfolding. Our expectations. Now, think of the scale. And before I explain it, let me see if I have any volunteer to explain why expectation and events are in the balance on a scale and they dictate happiness or lack of it.
So I think if things happens or events happen as per your expectations, you may feel good, but if doesn't, then you may feel otherwise, and then probably you will again expect something to happen, and the events will fall in that line. So maybe that is what this scale is trying to tell us.
So it also is telling you that if you let life unfold as it will, because it does anyway, you can jump and bang and resist, but life will unfold. You are not God, you can't do anything. So what if you change your expectation is to welcome life as it unfolds? It's very unlikely you'll be disappointed, because the nature of how you're meeting life is to say, I am open to life. Whatever unfolds, I'm open to it. So you will find sages, gurus, whatever you want to call them, they are open to life. Their expectations are that I am happy with life as it unfolds. Some people try and say, no, what if you keep lowering your expectations, then whatever happens, you'll be happy. But that's not really a recipe in my mind. So if your expectations of, say, riches, if I get a bowl of rice, I'm happy. Yeah, you'll be happy with the bowl of rice, but that doesn't say anything about how you flourish in life. But if you open to life, you do your best and stay open to whatever life delivers, then and happiness is unlikely to catch up with you. Oh, this is a difficult one. The brain lies all the time. Now, it was talking all the time, and we can put up with that, but it actually, unfortunately, lies all the time. So I'm going to give you first an example and see if I can invite some. So a few days back, I was expecting a neighbor who was also in business, etc., to bring me some documents to look at. And this was earlier in the day, okay? And he says, I'll see you at, I think it was 6:30 in the evening, I'll give you the document. 7:30, it didn't come. Now, I started to think, typical. Now, not watch what I said. I started to think. Actually, it's the voice in the head that said, is not a reliable person. What are you doing waiting to see document from that person if he can't even keep an appointment? Okay? So the brain gave you a narrative, and if you run with it, you're down the rabbit hole, as we said earlier. At 7:30, he called me. I said, what's happening? He says, you won't believe where I am. I said, where are you? He said, I am stuck in traffic. Traffic is like a car park. So guess when it was very busy in Abu Dhabi recently in the evening? Any guesses?
December 2.
National Day. Anybody who went into town and who tried to drive around got stuck. This poor guy got stuck and from 6 o'clock, and he says, I'll be lucky to make it home at 10. So the brain lied to me, and I ran away with the thought and caught myself in time to say, wait a minute, you know, this is the story the brain is saying. Don't buy it. But if you buy it, you can even get angry, disappointed, not even answer phone calls, is ignorant, so and so, how come he treats me like this, etc. So the brain lies all the time. It lies in so many different ways. We've done even presentation on this. So this is all the brain biases. Sees causes where none exist. Sees patterns everywhere. Have you noticed? You look at the cloud, you see a rabbit. There is no rabbit in the cloud, but it sees the pattern. Most people see patterns and they start interpreting them in their own way, and they fall into all kinds of problems. If you have a knowledge gap, start to waffle, tell you things, and then you feel as if you understand. But it's just a fiction the mind is put on. Mask its ignorance by asserting things. Unfortunately, you notice we find now in the LLMs, in AI, it gives you some answers that are totally false, but with utter certainty. So you have to be careful. We are surprised. Why is this stupid LLM giving me this answer? Because we are stupid. It's learning from us. We have had all kind of useless conversations and it's picked on those and is copying them and regurgitating them to give it to us. So the mind lies to you. Okay, now let's get to some solutions that will hopefully lead to some helpful strategies. So let's define some very important things. There's something we can call brain time, something we can call practical time. What is brain time? It's the incessant thinking that we've been talking about. Buzz, 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 buzz. Some of it useless, some of it useful. It goes on endlessly. And the next one, some practical time. What is it? When you're planning maybe a delivery, logistics, action, anything you do to make life manageable, easy, is practical time. So one is useful and one is a waste of time and causes all kind of upset. So the smart amongst us will say, okay, how do I transform brain time into practical time? Any idea? How would you transform? We know this first one is useless and causes all kind of headaches and problems. And we can't get rid of it. It's happening all the time. But there is a way to transform it from incessant brain time into practical time. Any suggestions? Jump in, don't be shy.
Can I come in again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Basically, you can start a hobby or probably some talent which you left behind many years ago. You go back like your art or music and then you involve yourself. So that brings up the creativity and keeps your mind in a very positive frame. Back to sir.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Let's see. Joe, if you start every time there is something about the past and the buzzing, can you transform it to, okay, so what shall we do next? Not what happened then and thinking about it and chewing on it. Turn it into, I heard that, what shall we do next? And if it's about the future, let's have a plan. Don't keep worrying and buzzing about the future. Let's see if we can have a plan. I know it's a concern. With a plan, that energy, that emotion can be put to one side and become a plan. Okay? So we learn from the past and we plan for the future and we try and organize this incessant thinking from being harmful into something useful and then move on. Don't be like a slave to it. Now, this is the best hack I have applied and I hope you can find your own. Now, you might say, what is SOD? I'm going to give you, this is a secret that really works really, really well. I created SOD is an acronym made of 3 people in my life that gave me hassle, that gave me, people who say, I'll call you, they don't call you, or let's do this, and then they make it into a big problem, and you have to think about it, they're annoying, they're upsetting. So I had 3, and this is the initials of these 3. So they remind me of something really irritating, really annoying. So I've created a SOD that I use in my head. So every time I have an incessant thought bombard, this is what I do. I named it, I say, okay, here comes the SOD, the irritating, incessant character. Here comes the SOD. I don't know what you want to call yours, depending who irritated you, he or she, and take 3, 4, 5, anything that makes something meaningful to you and create your own SOD. Believe me, this works, and it works wonder, because then becomes very memorable. Here comes the SOD, and your brain knows how to deal with this very efficiently. Then you ask it. This is your talking to the SOD. Okay, you're going on and on and on. Now you give me a list. What is it that's troubling you? This is the irritating SOD. What is it that is troubling you? But you cannot repeat. You can't say, the so-and-so didn't call me. Okay, I heard you. Then if it goes again and say, after a couple of minutes, yes, she didn't call me. She should have called me. Wait a minute. You've said that already. You cannot repeat. I'm trying to take a list from you of all the buzz and the incessant thinking and say, okay. And if you stay with it, you will find after a while, it ran out of thoughts. It ran out of things to tell you because it's not allowed to repeat. Are you with me on this? If it can't repeat it, then it tells you 1, 2, 3. It might reach 10 at some point, and it cannot repeat. End of the line. It can't say anything. And if you're successful and say, if you repeat, there is going to be a penalty. Okay? If you repeat, there's going to be a penalty. Now you decide what penalty you want to apply. If I allow this to repeat and listen to it, I am going to maybe have to do 20 push-ups or whatever you consider is your penalty. At some point, the SOD decide this is too much of a hassle, too much of a penalty. I can't repeat that one. So guess what happens after once, twice, 3 times? You become trained. The SOD becomes a very famous character in your head. And every time you speak to it, and you're alert. Here it comes. Here it comes. Eventually, it's like you're shining a light on an idiot that keeps talking, and you don't allow it to repeat, and then what happens? If you're fortunate, eventually the mind settles down and stops throwing rubbish at you. And if that happens, your problems are almost over with the mind. You see, in the body, you can't do this. You need experts, you need blood pressure, but with the mind, you can actually, because it's such a great tool, you can have tools like this that turns what was problematic, solve a problem. You could walk away today, and I guarantee you that within a day, 2 or 3, sometimes some people within an hour, you've cured a serious problem, which you couldn't do with the body. The body takes time, needs medication, needs supplement, whatever it needs. The brain you can do. I hope you try it. Don't just listen to theory. Create your SOD and see if you can stop the incessant thinking and if you can corner it and end this painful practice that we do to ourselves every day. I hope something was useful to you today. Hope you will put your value, your rating, and maybe we'll talk again very soon. Thank you.